So in the last video, we just exported a Docker image to small pieces on the file system to make it easier to share the Docker image with the help of a good old Apache web server instead of a Docker registry. But we didn't really check the possibility that how can we use what can we do with this exported Docker image. So this is the time to do something very, very useful with the Docker image. So first of all, I need an image. So let's create one quickly from Alpine and just execute some additional command to have one more layer. And now we can export it or copy it with the same scope tool what we used last time, which is nothing more just moving images from different type of repositories, containerd, dockerd, and including pure directories. So I would like to copy the image to a directory. So what do we have here? We have a few files, so I guess these are the two layers. One is the base layer, one is just, or maybe these two. The other one is just the execution of the date command, and the third one is the metadata. So let's check first the manifest. Okay, the third one, it seems so. So these are the real layers, image rootfs, and this seems to be the metadata. So I'm really interested about this one. And let's check what is inside. Okay, so these are the metadata. So they can be very familiar. So I think almost all of them can be configured with a Docker file. For example, I can modify the entry point and so on. And here I have the layers, but this part is very interesting. So this is the history, which seems to be just the metadata. So actually I can lie about the commands which were executed. I can just remove it. And it's also very interesting that there are empty layers, which is nothing more, just the metadata, right? Here still we have a connected layer, but this is nothing more, just an empty layer with some kind of metadata. So maybe we can just modify the metadata and put some useful information to here. So let's go to here and copy a poem to here, because why not? So a colon is required. The order can be controlled by calculating some fake dates. And I need a colon to here. Okay, let me check if it's still a valid. Not a valid. So I need one more colon somewhere. Oh, I don't need this one. Yes, it's valid. So I would like to rename it back to do sh sum as a name. And I need the size because it's also stored in the manifest. So the size is, this is the size 4413. And I need to modify this one 4413. And this supposed to be the SHA sum. Okay. So it should be a valid container image now with a different metadata, but let's try it out. So what we can do is just copy it back to the Docker daemon. Oh, I need a copy. Oh, it's of it. So let's try it out if it's a real. Oh. And yes, it works. So it's a real Docker container. But if I do Docker history, oh, I can see all of the data metadata. And instead of the boring comments, I can see something more useful, right? A real poem, which can be just pushed to the Docker repository. But let's do something else. Instead of just playing with the Docker, just checking a few other interesting stuff about code and in the console or doing some coding, but it will be done or continued in the next video.